అసలు ఎక్కడి నుంచి మొదలైంది మీ జర్నీ?
2013, 14, 15 I did this Partatiga event across US.
ఎంటర్టైన్మెంట్ ఇండస్ట్రీలోకి రావాలన్న ఆలోచన మీ సొంతమైన ఆలోచన?
Generally movies చూడడం is a hobby. If you go back to early 2000, films are not getting released here, so we used to go to other cities to watch. Then I started buying rights so that it can be released in Seattle.
When we look at you, like People Media Factory, everywhere we see the name kada, almost every other film.
Few more months I'm going to release one of our largest movie which can only break even if I make a huge pan-India release.
We're waiting.
That is Raja Saab. So
ఎప్పుడైనా ఏదైనా మేజర్ ఛాలెంజ్ మీరు ఏదైనా ఫేస్ చేశారా?
I started with 6 films at a time. So then
What's your take on OTT content?
OTT అంటే leaps and outbound. There could be an exception content which could be very bold in OTT.
సినిమా అంత బాగా ఆడకపోయినా కానీ పీపుల్ మీడియా ఫ్యాక్టరీ ఆల్వేస్ హ్యాడ్ ఎ వెరీ higher position.
Though there's a COVID, I was still able to break in and scale the business to very large scale.
Were there any controversies?
There was a strike.
Radio Surabhi is honored to sit down with a true game changer in Telugu cinema and beyond. TG Viswaprasad, founder and CEO of People Media Factory. ఎన్నో వేల లక్షల మంది లాగానే అమెరికాలో టెక్ ఇండస్ట్రీతో జీవితం మొదలుపెట్టి బిజినెస్ ప్రపంచంలోకి కాలు పెట్టి ఒక ప్రవాస భారతీయుడిగా బోల్డ్ స్టెప్ తీసుకుని తెలుగు సినిమా పరిశ్రమకి కొత్త నేపథ్యాన్ని అందించిన విజనరీ టీజీ విశ్వప్రసాద్. ఇండస్ట్రీలోకి ఎంటర్ అవడమే మేజర్ ప్రొడక్షన్ హౌసెస్ తో కలిసి ఇన్నోవేటివ్ విధానంలో ఫ్యాక్టరీ మోడల్లో ఒకేసారి 6 సినిమాలతో సంచలనం సృష్టించారు విశ్వప్రసాద్. సినిమా నిర్మాణంలో క్రియేటివిటీతో పాటు ఇన్నోవేషన్, స్కేలబిలిటీ అండ్ అవసరమైతే స్టేటస్ కోని ప్రశ్నించి కొత్త నియమాలు ఏర్పాటు చేసే సత్తా కూడా అవసరమని నిరూపించారు. కేవలం సినిమా మాత్రమే కాదు, బియాండ్ సినిమా హీ రిమైన్స్ అ వర్సటైల్ ఎంటర్‌ప్రెన్యూర్ విత్ ఇంట్రెస్ట్ అక్రాస్ టెక్ సర్వీసెస్, బిజినెస్ వెంచర్స్ అండ్ గ్లోబల్ కాంటెంట్ స్ట్రాటజీ, బ్లెండింగ్ క్రియేటివ్ విజన్ విత్ స్ట్రాటజిక్ లీడర్షిప్. ఒక నాయకుడిలో దీక్ష, దక్షత, అన్పారలల్డ్ విజన్ ఉండి రిలెంట్లెస్ పర్సూట్ ఫర్ పర్ఫెక్షన్ ఉంటే తిరుగులేదని నిరూపించిన ఫియర్లెస్ విజనరీ అండ్ ఇండస్ట్రీ డిస్రప్టర్, అ గ్లోబల్ లీడర్ టీజీ విశ్వప్రసాద్ గారితో మేం చేసిన ఈ కాన్వర్సేషన్ మీతో షేర్ చేసుకోబోతున్నాము. బ్రేస్ యువర్ సెల్ఫ్ టు బి ఇన్స్పైర్డ్, ఛాలెంజ్డ్ అండ్ చార్జ్డ్. Namaste Vishwa garu. I'm very very happy to have you in Radio Surabhi today. Thank you so much for your time. ఎలా ఉన్నారు?
బాగున్నాండి. ఎలా ఉన్నా మీరు?
నేను బాగున్నాను. So good to see you. Congratulations. Success after success. It is so wonderful to watch you shine such like with so much radiance and brightness.
Actually, success after a long time.
No, it is అంటే మీ జర్నీ itself is like very successful. So సినిమాలు అక్కడక్కడ even if they don't do good, you always had the name. Don't you think so? అలా అనిపిస్తుంది చూసే వాళ్ళకి.
I had a easy path so far.
Yeah, కదా? Yeah. So ఎక్కడి నుంచి బిగిన్ చేయాలి అని ఆలోచిస్తున్నా, because you have so many diversifications in your work and so many caps you wear. And I wanted to know అసలు ఎక్కడి నుంచి మొదలైంది మీ జర్నీ? ఇది ఈ ఎంటర్టైన్మెంట్ ఇండస్ట్రీలోకి రావాలన్న ఆలోచన మీ సొంతమైన ఆలోచన లేకపోతే ఎట్లాగా? హౌ డిడ్ యు గెట్ దిస్?
సో బేసిక్గా అంటే లైక్ మోస్ట్ ఆఫ్ ద పీపుల్ ఇన్ యూఎస్ ఐ స్టార్టెడ్ యాజ్ అ సాఫ్ట్వేర్ ఇంజనీర్. సో ఐ వర్క్ ఫర్ 10 years బిఫోర్ ఐ స్టార్టెడ్ మై ఓన్ బిజినెస్. సో జనరల్గా వన్స్ యూ earn reasonably, then you'll become socially active. Like there may be people socially active always, but at least my generation of people, it took 5, 6 years, 7 years for people to come out for a more socially active life. Once you are socially active, you get into associations, you bring your kids, create a platform to connect back roots, and slowly you'll start connecting with some events, bringing some singers, doing conventions, part of it.
It's resonating.
Then connecting back to the
Roots.
celebrities. It could be political or it could be film industry. So the more active you become, you're more deeper connected. So in that process, at a 2013, 14, 15, I did this Partatiga event across US for three seasons. I did every year. So, or one season a year. Generally 2 seasons into the year lo. So every year one season was done in US by ETV, and we facilitated or kind of co-produced that event, and we invested in the local production and took the share in the revenue that comes from India. So for 3 years I ran Bharata Theatre. So I'm now more connected with the music side of the world. Then also some guests who are the film stars. Through conventions I got connected with more actors. Generally movie stardom is a hobby. Then initially the time I'm like, if you go back to early 2000, films are not getting released here, so we used to go to other cities to watch the release. Then I started buying rights so that it can be released in
Your city.
Seattle.
Yeah.
That created an interest, but there's a barrier to enter. Once I saw a barrier, there's more curiosity or interest to see how I can break the barrier.
Nice.
So first I started with buying all the outdoor equipment, hiring some technicians, even at Vienna. We got him on a O visa to US. We kept him, he was here for about a year and a half. Then we explored deeper on how to make a film.
Movie making talk.
Still it is a barrier. We couldn't cross. But I did some line production, taking the share in the movie, like either overseas rights or some other alternate revenue. Then I thought the model, easy model to enter is go with a bang of doing multiple films at a time with collaboration. So I started with 6 films at a time. So then that's when we put People Media Factory.
Sir, isn't that a very daring step, Andy? Or is that how?
Actually, I did a lot more calculative for entering the industry.
Yeah. And the whole path seems very calculated. I'll talk about that. But 6 at a time?
My 6 at a time was a better calculated risk than doing 1 or 2.
I see.
But 6 I have done with collaboration. I didn't do alone.
Right.
I had a couple of them with Suresh Productions, very well established. 2 of them I did with production which just released a very big hit with Rana. Nene Raju Nene Mantu. So it's a blue planet. వాళ్ళతో I did MLA and Silly Fellows. Then one Kannada I did alone. Another Kannada I did with somebody who had a rights of Kshanam. Adya and Chepi Kannada. So then one I did with Manju Lakshmi, wife of Ram. So
ఓకే. సో ఇక్కడ నాకు మల్టిపుల్ క్వశ్చన్స్ వస్తున్నాయి మైండ్లోకి. జనరలీ దిస్ ఇస్ నాట్ రిలేటెడ్ టు మూవీ మేకింగ్ అండి. సియాటిల్ యాజ్ అ ప్లేస్, ఇక్కడ చాలామంది ఇట్స్ వెరీ డిప్రెసింగ్ వెదర్, అక్కడ అంత మోటివేటెడ్గా ఉండదు అలా అంటారు కదా. ఇఫ్ సియాటిల్ కెన్ ప్రొడ్యూస్ సంబడి లైక్ యూ ఆర్ గ్రూమ్ సంబడి లైక్ యూ, then maybe people are missing something. How did you see the life in Seattle?
see, first India నుంచి అమెరికాకి వస్తున్నా, you are completely disturbed on your comfort zone. So then you are adapting. Fortunately, the way we are grown up, we have the highest adaptability, at least my generation.
You can say our generation.
So because we come in a very competing world, so you can adapt and compete much better than the current generation. So there's no expectation on the weather. And if it is sunny, you come enjoy. If it is gloomy, just stay inside the home.
And then enjoy.
So depression comes, enjoy is always there. Depression comes when
you have an expectation.
you're well settled. Expectations don't meet.
Realities don't meet expectations.
Or you're not in reality.
So మీకు ఎప్పుడు you never had a complaint about Seattle weather or that life?
Absolutely no.
Not even your family?
Again, when it is sunny, you go out, you have many things to do. 4-5 months in a season, you're inside. And whether it is gloomy or cloudy or rainy or snow, they are disturbed weathers to step out. So when it is a disturbed weather, 60% of the America is a disturbed weather for 6 months.
True
so
that.
Seattle is no different.
Okay.
And Seattle has a larger talent that is more, who are doing much better than a normal person across the country.
Oh no?
Yeah. It could be on the tech side or it could be on the growth.
Okay,
Any growth opportunities, there's plenty.
Okay. So there is this an encyclopedia, if I can call it, of a businessman. Whenever I see you, I see that, లైక్ మీరు ఇందాక అన్నట్టుగా ఒక క్యాల్కులేటెడ్ రిస్క్స్ అనేవి మీరు తీసుకోవటం కానీ యువర్ మూవ్స్ ఒక్కొక్క స్టెప్ మీరు ఎదగటంలో ఒక బిజినెస్ మ్యాన్లో ఉండాల్సిన చాలా లక్షణాలు కొన్ని మీరు అలాగా ఇన్ యువర్ వాక్ ఆఫ్ లైఫ్ యూఆర్ షోయింగ్ ఇట్ టు పీపుల్ అని అనిపిస్తుంది చూస్తుంటే. సో ఇస్ ఇట్ యువర్ ఎడ్యుకేషన్ బ్యాక్గ్రౌండ్ ఆర్ ఇస్ ఇట్ యువర్ ఫ్యామిలీ బ్యాక్గ్రౌండ్ ఆర్ ఇస్ ఇట్ యువర్ పర్సనాలిటీ జనరలీ లైక్ దాట్?
First, I have to make sure I'm not getting carried away.
No, I mean it. I definitely mean it.
I come from a business family, so from childhood, like I'm brought up in the small business environment, and where there's a struggle to make a margin of 1 to 3% on a business transaction they do, and with a lot of things to. It's not an easy field. Like you need to make sure you do it all right. Then you have a 2-3% margin on the business transaction they execute on various business activities. So I've seen that. Then I started my career in a profession. So where it was very comfortable learning, but it has a cap. So once I got back to business, then it's much easy for me because I'm brought up in a very struggling businesses, and now it is a easy business when I started in the tech side of the business.
Yeah, so resources wise better.
It's much easier. The margins are much higher, not 1-2-3%.
And you already know. Like I think the mentality also, in fact, మీరు అన్నట్టుగా not just towards weather, maybe the adaptability, learning and adapting and then making a move. It's like a
most of the people who come here, they adapt much differently, and
everybody do.
You have a comfort zone. When I come, I don't know how to live by myself. Like there's no car, you can't drive. Without driving, and there's no Ubers those days, so there's no Indian stores across. There's no very few restaurants.
వెతుకునే వాళ్ళేమో Indian grocery.
Going to a restaurant is a luxury.
Indian restaurant. To be
any restaurant is a luxury because you cannot eat the local food.
True. Visha garu, can we go back to your people media beginning days and మీ ఐటీ సైడ్ నుంచి మీరు జాబ్ సైడ్ నుంచి మీరు ఫస్ట్ ఆంటర్ప్రెన్యూర్ అయిన డేస్ దగ్గర నుంచి ఇవాళ మీరు వెనక్కి తిరిగి చూసుకుంటే మీకు ఏమనిపిస్తుంది? హౌ డూ యూ వాంట్ టు డిఫైన్ యువర్ సెల్ఫ్ ఈ జర్నీలో?
See, I used to I still run the tech services. So I don't do, a lot of people think tech services and body shopping consulting. I don't do, I do less than 5% of resource placements. So I do more projects.
I see.
And solution development, and so I do a reasonable tech business. Then again, I've been doing this for 30 years now. So
wow.
10 years back, the idea is to do
movies,
more than just the tech business. That's how you get into social life and doing things. First, now I have a decent setup of various properties within the Seattle area. So I have just next to downtown, I have 3 houses in one place where I thought I should produce something like Amrutam kind of a serial.
I see.
So that's how the journey started.
I see.
This is the first time I'm disclosing out into the outside world.
Okay, I will note it down. I'll come with the concept.
So exactly 2015, VN Aditya met me in the semi-finals of Partha in Houston. I think he came as a guest in Houston, so he came to finals in Dallas. So I gave this idea to him. Why don't we do? Then he said, I'm looking for a long stay in America, so can you do a
production house?
There's a category of visa called O visa. If you can do a O visa, I can stay back. So that's how I entered into this space, and then we started the discussion of doing a serial like Amrutam. I had a bunch of technicians, and then immediately people switched to making a movie.
That's
Actually,
when Uttej came also.
Hmm?
Uttej kuda appadena అదే time frame.
అందరూ అంటే they just come to explore the idea and see
Yeah.
what can be done.
Mm.
Then from there the journey started.
అదే.
Then I saw the barrier. It's not easy to enter.
అదే.
So then what is the solution? So I thought easy way to understand the industry is invest on all the outdoor equipment in US and offer the service to the filmmakers in India to come. And eventually I produce my own films. But again, line production, I got multiple offers. But doing end-to-end film, it's difficult to sign up actor to come here. Then in the discussions, I had a lot of this collaboration opportunities. Then I started this factory model. There was no
So factory.
intent or a plan on doing a films before.
I see. So factory model అంటే can you elaborate?
Instead of doing one at a time,
అచ్చా అలా
or
అంటారా,
two at a
producing
time,
multiple.
do multiple.
Right.
You build various departments and do
I see.
multiple at a time.
And hence it is People Media Factory.
Correct.
I see. Interesting.
Yeah, we named it saying we'll do many at a time.
సో అనౌన్స్ చేసి మొదలుపెట్టారు. మీ ఎక్స్పోజర్ టు వర్డ్ సినిమా ఏంటండి దానికన్నా ముందు, అంటే బ్యాక్ ఎండ్?
Back end, see, 1984, before 1984, we used to go with parents to the movie. We used to go at least one or two films a week. 84 is where in India the TVs and VCRs were introduced at least to us. And people in
కలర్ టీవీస్
cities may have little before, maybe 3-4 years before that. So, and I come from a very small place. Luckily, we got in the first few years of introduction of the TV to the tier 2. We are at tier 3, but we got along or before tier 2. Because of, I think, the post-Asian games, there's a big push in India to spread the television to most of the countries. From there, it's like watching a movie every day.
రైట్.
Then I went to engineering. Again, it's the same. Watch 3 or 4 movies a week. Then job kelnaka kuda I used to watch couple of movies a week. US ko vachinaka it slowed down, but it turned into video cassettes.
అదే I remember those days.
CDs and
Yeah, I remember those days. No, but అంటే సినిమా మేకింగ్ వైపు ఏమైనా మీకు ఎక్స్పోజర్ ఉండిందా? యూ ఆర్ యువర్
making
ఫ్యామిలీ,
is
ఎనీబడి?
zero
ఎవరికి లేరు.
zero exposure.
సో మీరే మొదలు మీ ఫ్యామిలీ సైడ్.
Other than just getting connected with social life part of the then bringing me and Aditya and exploring to do a good series over here. Actually, I produced a lot of content with local talent.
Yeah, you did
But it
Forced
didn't make,
Orphans and
Forced Orphans was a proper feature film.
it was a
It's an
proper feature
independent
film.
feature film.
Yeah.
But adi kaakunda kuda we did a lot of content development.
ఓకే. సో ఈ ఐఎమ్ షూర్ చాలా ఇందులో లెర్నింగ్స్ ఉండి ఉంటాయి అండ్ సక్సెస్ అండ్ ఫెయిల్యూర్. ఇట్స్ ఫైన్. బట్ లైక్ ఐ సెడ్ ఇన్ ద బిగినింగ్లో అన్నట్టుగా మీరు యువర్ జర్నీ ఈజ్ సచ్ దట్ చూసే వాళ్ళకి, పబ్లిక్, జనరల్ నార్మల్ పీపుల్కి, వెన్ వీ లుక్ ఎట్ యూ లైక్ పీపుల్ మీడియా ఫ్యాక్టరీ, ఎవ్రీవేర్ వి సీ ద నేమ్ కదా, ఆల్మోస్ట్ ఎవ్రీ అదర్ ఫిలిం. సో దానివల్ల అయి ఉండొచ్చు, లేకపోతే ద నేమ్ ఇస్ రింగింగ్ అండ్ రెజనేటింగ్ అయి ఉండొచ్చు, దానివల్ల కావచ్చు. బట్ సినిమా అంత బాగా ఆడకపోయినా కానీ పీపుల్ మీడియా ఫ్యాక్టరీ ఆల్వేస్ హ్యాడ్ ఎ వెరీ హయ్యర్ పొజిషన్. లైక్ అంటే పీపుల్ ఆల్వేస్ సా యూ యాజ్ సక్సెస్ఫుల్, ఇఫ్ ఐ కెన్ యూస్ దట్ వర్డ్. మీకు వాజ్ దేర్ ఎనీథింగ్ దట్ స్ట్రక్ విత్ యూ డ్యూరింగ్ దిస్ ఎక్స్పీరియన్స్ ఇలాగా?
See, once I started the People Media Factory, I started with many at a time, and I clearly see the model works very well. I had a very good entry. 2017, I started making feature films, and they started releasing from 18.
Yeah.
So always people say like in films, it's not easy to enter, you lose money. And you keep bleeding. So, but I didn't bleed much, but I started scaling.
Yeah.
It's a break even 18, break even 19. 20 was little closer because of the COVID. Though there's a COVID, I was still able to break even and scale the business to very large scale movies. So by the time I come to 21, I'm having 50 to 100 crore movies, multiple at a time. Antavaraku I have
స్కేల్ అప్ చేయగలిగారు.
Venki Mama was a 50 crore plus movie. Then Nishabdam was a 30-35 crore movie. The rest are all in a 10, 15, 5, the small to medium range. medium to large is Venki Mama. And then I got into the large movie bracket. And I had a Bro, I had a Raja Saab started
Yeah.
same time.
Yeah.
Parallelly, I have multiple mid to large, Dhamaka, Eagle, Maname. And if you look at my film slate, I'm one of the few who had small to large. ఇప్పుడు మీకు మాకన్నా మైత్రి is much bigger. They do multiple large at a time. Sitara does medium to large and small also. And they came little later to us in doing volume.
Oh, in volume.
They were doing
yes.
1 or 2 at a time.
Yes.
We are the first to do the volume.
So you
Maitri
introduced
is
a
the
formula.
Hmm?
You introduced a formula in a way.
I don't think I can say I introduced a formula, but we are first to adapt. But it may be just
Or
a
maybe you're being
coincidence.
humble.
No. See, it's not a formula. Like the non-theater business has grown very big, so everyone see opportunity to do multiple. But we started multiple when there's no non-theater business.
Correct. అదే.
It was all theater business when I started.
Right. అందుకే అంటున్నా నేను.
So,
Yeah.
but everyone are suffering with the fall of non-theatrical now. We experienced first, so that's why we say we had a bad one full year where we lost significantly in non-theatrical.
ఏది అది 20
24.
24 Okay.
Yeah, 24 we lost in every movie that we released. So
I see.
it's not nothing to do with the movie quality or the size. It is because we didn't do a proper non-theatrical before. Then we suffered some losses that year.
విశ్వ గారు 2020 ఈ కోవిడ్ టైం ఫ్రేమ్ అంతా కూడా ఇట్ క్రియేటెడ్ అ వేవ్ ఫర్ మూవీ లవర్స్ ఆర్ కంటెంట్ తీసుకునే వాళ్ళకి ఓటీటీ ప్లాట్ఫామ్స్ వైపు అట్లాగా. అండ్ చాలా ఇంపాక్ట్ అప్పట్లో సినిమాల మీద పడేది అన్నది ఒక టాక్ అయితే నడిచింది చాలా రోజులు, చాలా సంవత్సరాలు.
It helped films, it impacted films.
ఇట్ ఇంపాక్టెడ్ ఇన్ ద సెన్స్ ఓటీటీకి స్విచ్ అయిపోతున్నాయి ఈ సినిమాలు కాబట్టి ఇన్ టర్మ్స్ ఆఫ్ అంటే ప్రొడ్యూసర్ పరంగా మీ టేక్ ఏంటి దాని మీద?
I don't think. See, the problem with OTT is people have a exposure to a larger span of the movie, and not the film span, the varieties
shelf
of the
life.
movies, and you can see not just your language. You started watching other
చాలా
languages.
అంటారు. ఓకే.
You started watching worldwide movies,
అవును.
and before only few filmmakers used to watch Korean movies.
అవును.
And every common
ఈవెన్
audience
మలయాళం
will watch
మూవీస్ ఆల్సో. అవును.
and Malayalam is Indian movie,
అవును.
but there's plenty of the people who watch Korean web series and Korean movies, and there's a larger exposure to the movies.
అవును.
Now the expectations are also similar. So that's one. Second, people started doing a volume of movies because there's a bigger market available for non-theatrical. So the quality standards have dropped. ఇప్పుడు just to give an example, the week we realized Mirai, there were 3-4 successful movies running in theaters, and all theaters are full. And this happened outside a Shankranti season, first time in the last several years. And Shankranti season lo
that is another
theaters
talk
runs
right
full time.
అవును.
This is a completely odd week. September 12th is in
ఏ
no way it is
ఫెస్టివల్ కి కనెక్షన్
it has a season or a connection.
హాలిడే సీజన్
It's
కాదు.
not summer. In fact, it is a pre-holiday
ప్రీ
season.
హాలిడే కరెక్ట్. నవరాత్రి దసరా దీనికి
Because and people may have a quarterly exams,
అవును.
and
యా
so this is the first time theaters are filled with no big movie. And Mirai was a decent size. Kishkindapuri was a small to medium size. So a medium size to make it more precise. Then Loka అని ఒకటి
అవును.
మలయాళం రీమేక్ ఉంది. లిటిల్ ఆర్ట్స్ అన్నది
Yeah.
it was
It
not
has
even they didn't even plan a larger theater
అవును.
release. So
Yeah.
it was
Yeah.
very big. And
Yeah.
between
It's a
4
huge
movies,
success. అవును.
all theaters were full in the entire week.
Yeah, which is very చాలా సంవత్సరాల తర్వాత.
After other than the Shankranti season. So there's nothing like
అంటే ఇప్పుడు
OTT
పికప్
killed.
యా ఇప్పుడు పికప్
In the
అయిందా
entire
or
year
అప్పుడు
after
ఏమైనా
Shankranti, this is the only period.
ఓకే. వాట్స్ యువర్ టేక్ ఆన్ ఓటీటీ కంటెంట్? బికాస్ reason I'm asking this question is సినిమాకైతే ఒక I'm sure many people would have asked you this. సినిమాకైతే ఒక సెన్సార్ బోర్డ్ ఉంటుంది, కొన్ని లిమిటేషన్స్ ఉంటాయి. And then there's a way that you look at cinema content when you're creating. కానీ ఓటీటీకి apparently it looks like there's no restriction, there's no bounds. మీకు ఎలా అనిపిస్తుంది? Have you
సినిమాకి
how
no
do you
restriction.
consider? సినిమాకి లేదంటారా?
ఏముంటుంది?
అంటే సెన్సార్ ఉంటుంది కదా.
What does it
That's
matter? You can always get it censored.
అంతేనా?
You get a A or U or
Yeah.
yeah.
But there అంటే కొన్ని రూల్స్ ఉంటాయేమో కదా, ఉండవా?
See, I don't think there's a OTT అంటే leaps and outbound different than cinema అని ఏం లేదు. You will see 90% in line to what you see in a cinema. There could be an exception content which could be very bold in OTT, but that viewership is very limited anyway.
Yeah, I mean, so problem is ఇప్పుడు మీరు అన్నట్టుగా వీటికి రేటింగ్ పెట్టుకుంటారు. ఓకే, యూ కెన్ గెట్ ఇట్ సెన్సర్డ్ ఇన్ డిఫరెంట్ కేటగిరీస్. ఈ చూసేవాళ్ళు ఇవి చూస్తారు, అవి చూసేవాళ్ళు అవి చూస్తారు. కానీ ఓటీటీలో యూ కెనాట్.
They come with restricted, right? So
No,
there's
I am saying you can't. I mean, if you cannot watch it along with your family sitting in the room, అంటే కంట్రోల్ చేయటం కూడా కష్టం కదా. ఈ సినిమా అని కంట్రోల్ చేయటం కూడా కష్టం కదా. వెబ్ సిరీస్ ఎస్పెషల్లీ.
I think most of them will be R-rated if you are watching in any standard platform. If you have a
I have some
parental
examples,
control,
but
if you have a parental control, that gets restricted.
అలాంటి
If you remove the parental control and
you're letting them go.
no,
Okay.
if you allow them to watch, they can watch it.
Right. Okay, let's talk a little bit about your experience in India when you really shifted. అక్కడికి షిఫ్ట్ అయ్యి సినిమాలో ఫుల్ ఫ్లెజ్డ్గా మీరు ఇన్వాల్వ్ అవ్వడం మొదలుపెట్టిన తర్వాత ఎప్పుడైనా ఏ క్షణంలో అయినా మీకు ఎందుకు వై డిడ్ ఐ కమ్ ఇన్ టు దిస్ ఇండస్ట్రీ, దిస్ సైడ్ ఆఫ్ ద వరల్డ్ అని అనిపించిందా? ఆర్ యూ లైక్ ఐఎమ్ సో ప్రౌడ్ ఆఫ్ మై సెల్ఫ్, ఐ మేడ్ ద డెసిషన్?
Neither of them.
Neither. Okay.
Because I started this model, we scaled big. Suddenly I see a lot of quality issues, a lot of control issues. So though I'm not very keen to spend this kind of a time for filmmaking, I didn't want to give up. So by nature I'm a fighter. So when I can enter the movie, I started the factory model to cross a barrier. So I don't want to fail. So though it doesn't make a business sense for me to put so much of time in filmmaking, I don't want to give up. So I'm turning this business into a larger enterprise business in filmmaking. So
And what's your goal? Where do you want to go with this? అంటే మీరు ఇందాక
I was
బ్యారియర్స్ అన్నారు
very
కదా.
clear,
హౌ
and
ఫార్ డిడ్ యూ కమ్ బ్రేకింగ్ దోస్?
I want to get into pan-world movies. I want to make an entry into Hollywood with
పాన్ వరల్డ్.
without struggling on how to make one. So typical if you want to get into Hollywood movie, you need to put 3-4 years of time to take a movie that you want to release into Hollywood, because the journey is very difficult. Like releasing a Telugu movie has certain barrier, releasing a movie in Bollywood has a different barrier, releasing into Hollywood has a much higher barrier. So the barriers are like the exponential, it's not linear. Today I'm in a position to release pan-India movies easily. Like at least we released one this year, and I'm in discussion on multiple movies. And okay, one I made as a Hindi movie and released. Mirai we released pan-India. There's a second one after Kartikeya 2, but Kartikeya 2 had no plan. Mirai had a
Proper
moderate plan, so there's no big recovery from Hindi that is required.
I see.
In few more months, I'm going to release one of our largest movie, which can only break even if I make a huge pan-India release.
We're waiting.
That is Raja Saab. So, and eventually, I want to do a pan-world movies where you can break even only when you release across the world.
Wow. Yeah, I'm sure you will do it, Andy. What is your involvement in the movie selection process? How much are you involved? How much are you invested?
As a producer, I'm involved. And
Story, decision making, artists.
it's a huge process.
అవును.
I play my role.
చాలా డిప్లొమాటిక్ గా చెప్పారు ఇది.
No, a lot of people say, do you listen to story? If you listen for 5 minutes, it's just you understand the story, or you can spend hours and you don't understand the story. So I don't spend hours.
ఓకే. యాహ్!
But without understanding, I don't get involved.
ఒక ప్రొడ్యూసర్‌కి నిర్మాతగా ఏది చాలా ఇంపార్టెంట్ అంటారు మీరు? ఒక టీమ్, ఒక రిలయబుల్ టీమ్ ఉండడము, ఆన్ హూమ్ యూ కెన్ డిపెండ్ ఆన్. అది ఇంపార్టెంటా? లేకపోతే ఆల్‌వేస్ బీ ఆన్ హై అలర్ట్ అండ్ యూ నో ఎవ్రీ నిటిగ్రిటీ ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్ అబౌట్
You
దట్.
will not know every nitty-gritty. As long as you have a control to know
రైట్.
every nitty-gritty,
So good
you are
team.
a producer.
హ్మ్.
It's a huge team effort.
యాహ్!
Not
యాహ్!
one.
అబ్సల్యూట్లీ. యాహ్!
Unlike based on various activities,
హ్మ్.
the team sizes are different.
హ్మ్.
The, the diversified talents are different.
హ్మ్.
In filmmaking, it's way significantly diversified.
హ్మ్.
So you need to work with
మల్టిపుల్ క్రాఫ్ట్స్ అండ్
lots and lots of streams of talents
యాహ్!
that exist in various streams.
యాహ్!
So it is your role is limited as long as you have control and access to
హ్మ్.
all the activities. Then you are a good producer. But that the role of a producer when I entered versus what I am today is very different.
ఇస్ ఇట్?
Yeah, I am able to reasonably define a role of a producer and manage that.
కెన్ యూ
At least in the last 1 year.
చెప్పగలరా మాకు?
Clear?
చెప్పండి.
We were in a system where producer was a facilitator.
ఆ!
From there, 30 to 40% of the films
హ్మ్.
have a full control on what needs to be done.
వావ్!
And one such thing we delivered is the VFX department in Mirai.
ఇట్స్ బ్యూటిఫుల్.
We took the entire control and we executed.
నేను ఇంటెన్షనల్‌గా జస్ట్ ఒక సినిమా గురించి మాట్లాడటం లేదండి. బికాజ్ యువర్
No,
టైమ్
I'm
ఈస్
just saying
ప్రెషియస్ టు
like,
మీ.
yeah.
బట్ మిరాయి, యెస్, ఇట్ ఈస్ సో బ్యూటిఫుల్లీ డన్. ఇట్ ఈస్ సో బ్యూటిఫుల్లీ డన్ ఎట్ మెనీ లెవెల్స్. ఐ జస్ట్ వాంటెడ్ టు ఆస్క్ యూ, ఇప్పుడు మీరు పాన్ ఇండియా గురించి మాట్లాడారు కదా! ఒక కామన్ పబ్లిక్ ఒపీనియన్ ఏంటంటే టిపికల్‌గా రైట్ నౌ బాలీవుడ్ ఈజ్ నాట్ డూయింగ్ సో గ్రేట్. సో అంటే గత కొన్ని సంవత్సరాలుగా జస్ట్ రీసెంట్లీ అండ్ హెన్స్ దే స్టార్టెడ్ లుకింగ్ ఆర్ లీనింగ్ టువర్డ్స్ సౌత్ ఇండియన్ సినిమా అనేది ఒక కామన్ పబ్లిక్ ఒపీనియన్. ఒక నిర్మాతగా బీయింగ్ ఇన్ ద ఇండస్ట్రీ, క్లోజ్లీ సీయింగ్ ఎవ్రీథింగ్, మీరేమనుకుంటారు దాని గురించి?
See, Bollywood for a decade, again, I'm not I'm just telling my observations.
అదే.
I may be wrong. So, because if I'm commenting on something which existed for decades and
రైట్.
built its own legacy. So,
రైట్.
making one observation, I may not be correct, but I'm still telling you
Yeah.
my perspective of what I've seen.
Yeah.
And that's what people are saying for a while. See, Bollywood followed certain trend. They were making lots of different genres of movies. Lot of remakes happened into the South. It's more remakes coming from Bollywood to South than
అవును.
South to Bollywood for a
అవును.
long time. So they were way ahead than the rest of the industry just because of the budgets that are available to them because they release across the country. And they have spread over to the rest of the world into different regions. I think the post-software era, the South is spread across the world and our budgets also is reasonably bigger than what it used to be.
It used to be.
Yeah. Then Bollywood aligned to certain type of genres, which was a theater crowd of Mumbai and not the across the India. Like
Across India.
they lost the entire South Indian audience. Over a period, they lost the audience in the Hindi belt. But they were still be very successful with the certain belt of Mumbai, maybe a little bit of Gujarat, Rajasthan, and the rest of the world. The rest of the world is a big base in Dubai, the GCC side of it. Then little bit into Malaysia, Far East. A good base in North America, good base in Europe. So when the South movies started expanding into this, we kind of competed and captured the rest of the world. We are only weak in the Mumbai. And the Hindi belt has become more watching satellite and satellite content and the not OTT, mostly the satellite content.
Sadly.
And we became pioneers in the satellite content with the nature of films that we deliver. And we are more familiar to the Hindi belt than the Bollywood films. I'm just
Right.
talking about my
Right,
observation in the last 10
right.
years.
Right.
And when we picked up in the mainstream in terms of Bahubali, or even the small movies like Kartikeya 2, Pushpa, so there is a different experience we are creating to the Hindi belt and the rest of the market. And our sizes are same or bigger than Bollywood today. So Bollywood is not vanished, but because we are capturing the larger market share, we are seen bigger than Bollywood today.
సో మీరు చెప్పింది నాకు ఎలా అనిపిస్తుందంటే అంటే ఫ్రమ్ అ బిజినెస్ మ్యాన్ పర్స్పెక్టివ్ దిస్ ఇస్ ఆల్ లుక్స్ లైక్ ఓకే యూ డిడ్ అ బిజినెస్ అనాలిసిస్ ఆన్ హౌ
These are the pure business findings which are from the facts.
కరెక్ట్ బట్ ఆల్సో ఇఫ్ యూ లుక్ ఎట్ ఇట్ ఫ్రమ్ అంటే ప్యూర్ హౌ డు ఐ సే దిస్ ప్యూర్ ఫిలిం పాయింట్ ఆఫ్ వ్యూలో చూస్తే దే డెఫినెట్లీ ఒక సీక్వెన్స్లో దే లాస్ట్ లాట్ ఆఫ్ మూవీస్ ఫెయిల్డ్ లాట్ ఆఫ్ బిగ్ budget movies failed, pedda hero productions failed, and they weren't able to capture the market at any given point of time. And at a point where inka Bollywood అయిపోయింది అన్న టైంలో slowly ఒక inclination or they getting into South India, Telugu films లో వాళ్ళు కనపడటం, వాళ్ళ ఆర్టిస్టులు కనపడటం, కరణ్ జోహర్ లాంటి ఒక పెద్ద ప్రొడ్యూసర్స్ they getting into the big production houses getting into this side, అవన్నీ కనపడటం జరిగినాయి కదా. సో isn't that something అంటే ఎక్కడో ఆ ఎలిమెంట్ కూడా ఉండుండకపోతుంది అంటారా?
It's purely the Bollywood is different way Mumbai market. It evolved with Bombay to Bollywood. So the challenge is they lost the Hindi belt and they lost the South belt.
అదే
Audience perspective. They're not delivering to this crowd.
They're not delivering.
So that is the problem with 2 decades of talent. Not
Catering.
looking into this. So now the new generation, the new talent will look across. It's just the matter of another 5 to 10 years they'll be back. So
You think so?
it should be back. So why would they not?
5 to 10
There's
years.
more
Antena?
It's more that a new talent has to evolve. Ante.
Okay, that's interesting. So one more thing అండి, సినిమాలు when you are planning the movie and budgets ఇవన్నీ కూడా మీ అప్రోచ్ అంతా కూడా ఆబ్వియస్లీ ఇట్ కమ్స్ ఫ్రమ్ యువర్ ఎనార్మస్ ఎక్స్పీరియన్స్ యాజ్ అన్ ఎంప్లాయీ, ఒక ఉద్యోగం చేసి తర్వాత ఆంటర్ప్రెన్యూర్గా ఉండి అండ్ యువర్ ఫ్యామిలీ బ్యాక్గ్రౌండ్ అన్నీ కలిపి ఆబ్వియస్లీ యూ హ్యావ్ యువర్ మూవ్స్, రైట్? వెన్ యూఆర్ ప్లానింగ్ ద బడ్జెట్ అండ్ స్కేలింగ్ ద మూవీ టు అ సర్టన్ బడ్జెట్, డూ యూ హ్యావ్ ఎనీ క్రైటీరియా? మీరు ఏమైనా పెట్టుకుంటారా మైండ్లో, ఇది నా లిమిటేషన్స్ ఆర్ దిస్ ఇస్ మై categories that I
It
want
goes
to
to my
enter?
previous statement. As a producer, you don't have a lot of control before. I'm trying to gain control, and I've reasonably gained control at least 30-40% of our operations. So yeah, then all the planning comes when you know how to manage it.
Right.
When you're facilitating, you'll not have a control. So
Yes,
I'm
when you
switching
get
my
the
role
full
from
control.
facilitating to
Controlling.
managing it.
Yeah, managing. Okay, nice. Don't want to use the word, the negative connotation ఉంటుంది కాబట్టి. ఓకే, సో నా క్వశ్చన్ ఏంటంటే, మనకి ఇప్పుడు మీరు సినిమా మూవీ మేకింగ్లో ఇండియాలో చాలా వేరే డిపార్ట్మెంట్స్ ఉంటాయి కదండి. అటు యూనో కెన్ బి మెయిన్ స్ట్రీమ్ వర్క్ అయ్యిండొచ్చు, బ్యాక్ ఎండ్ వర్క్ అయ్యిండొచ్చు, ఇలా రకరకాలుగా. అప్పుడు ఎప్పుడైనా ఏదైనా మేజర్ ఛాలెంజ్ మీరు ఏదైనా ఫేస్ చేశారా? ఆ ఛాలెంజ్ అప్పుడు ఎలాగ సాల్వ్ చేయాలి దీన్ని అనే పరిస్థితి వచ్చిందా ఎప్పుడైనా?
See, when I started, it's like if I make a good movie is enough on a perspective, and we need to make sure we break even, we don't lose money. You cannot earn money another. It was a fact before. Then when I started losing money, then we got serious on how do we make, and we want to be successful because there's a good potential,
Right.
to make a better enterprise to do movies for a larger span. Then when you go deeper, you know that you don't have any control. You're not allowed. Then the question is, it's very tightly integrated. A huge nexus that will stay to not let you in. So then you need to put
So that's your barrier again.
significant effort to break that. So
Yeah.
and it's not easy.
Definitely
it will
not.
drain a lot of energies, you have to make lots of enemies, and you'll be alienated. So
That's exactly where I was trying to get to.
yeah, as I said, I'm a fighter, so I don't give up. So
Yeah.
I let my other businesses time shifted to this and make sure I gain, and I at least got a good entry to gain the control, and it's just a matter of another year or two where we can do everything in control.
చాలా కష్టం కదండి. బికాజ్ అది చాలా ఓవర్ డెకేడ్స్ నుంచి కూడా ఒక ఏమనాలి, ఒక షెల్ ఉండి ఉంటుంది దాని చుట్టూత అరౌండ్ ద ఇండస్ట్రీ. బ్రేకింగ్ దాట్ అండ్ యూ కమింగ్, బీయింగ్ ఎన్ NRI, స్టెప్పింగ్ ఇన్ టు దట్ ఇండస్ట్రీ, కమింగ్ ఫ్రమ్ నాన్ మూవీ బ్యాక్గ్రౌండ్ అండ్ ఆల్సో సిగ్నిఫికెంట్లీ ప్లేయింగ్ సచ్ హ్యూజ్ రోల్, లైక్ ఒక ఫ్యాక్టరీ లాగా ప్రొడ్యూసింగ్ మూవీస్ అంటే సంబడి కమింగ్ లైక్ ఎ స్టామ్. అందుకే నిన్న కూడా దట్స్ ద వర్డ్ ఐ వాజ్ యూజింగ్ ఫర్ యూ. బికాజ్ యూ డెఫినెట్లీ అది ఒక ఇంప్రెషన్ అయితే క్రియేట్ చేసి ఉండాలి అక్కడ లోకల్గా ఉన్న వాళ్ళల్లో. సో హ్యాట్స్ ఆఫ్ టు యూ ఫర్ దాట్. యూనో మీ అంత కన్విక్షన్ అండ్ అంత డిటర్మిన్డ్గా ఉండకపోతే ఐ డోంట్ థింక్ ఇట్స్ అ పాసిబిలిటీ. ఐఎమ్ షూర్ మెనీ పీపుల్ వుడ్ బ్రేక్ అట్ దట్ పాయింట్.
ఓకే, బ్రేక్ కాదు, పీపుల్ విల్ గివ్ అప్.
అదే బ్రేక్ ఇస్ ఇన్ గివ్ అప్ అండ్ దెన్ మూవ్ బ్యాక్.
Move into other things.
అంతే.
Yeah. See, luckily I had a significant stake into the business. I can say I'm one of the few who has put, and everyone will have money. It's not like people divest into various other activities, predominantly into real estate, which is much more lucrative. I'm one of the few who really put personal money into the filmmaking and have enough deep stake into the system. So it's not easy to alienate me. So and I go very aggressive.
Strong.
So because I'm aggressive and have a stake, though it's not easy to enter, I could find my way to enter. So and definitely the challenges and the issues that I took up is not easy, because there's a big nexus that doesn't, many people don't want to even touch it. So they find a workaround and get away. So yeah, try to break, and few things came in my favor because of the drop in non-theatrical. The operating efficiencies is very, very critical for every production, and all of them are realized, and yeah, they are all in, most of them they are aware, but now they all want to solve it.
I see. So how involved is your family in the whole process, Andy?
See, my daughter is in the production, so she's interested.
ప్రతి మూవీలో తందైన పేరు, that's what you
Yeah,
say.
Kriti is
Kriti?
my daughter. So she's been with us for 3 years. So, but she runs her own way. So she again, it's good. She don't want to just follow what we are doing, but she wants to come with her own
It's
methods
wonderful.
and process. And she mounted few from scratch, and she runs few departments.
Very nice. That's awesome. And you have a son also, I guess.
My son is not into films.
Okay.
He's into few of the startups,
Okay.
and he's big time into AI, building AI solutions. So in films, he's helping us in building some, what do we call it, some plugins into the VFX
I
tools.
see.
So,
I'm
to
sure
that
you must
extent,
be
he's involved
enjoying
into
that.
films, so.
That's awesome అండి. మీకు సినిమా అనేది ప్యాషనా, బిజినెసా? ప్యాషన్ అండ్ బిజినెసా?
Started as a passion, but it is sizable business.
Sizable business. Started as a passion?
100% as a
I see.
passion. So.
I see.
Still, it is not mainline business. So. I've done elsewhere to invest here. So.
Right. సో ఇక్కడ యుఎస్లో ఈ మధ్య చాలామంది వచ్చి మూవీస్ చేయటము, మూవీ మేకింగ్ అదంతా స్టార్ట్ అయింది కదా. సో చిన్నగా అక్కడక్కడ అవుతూ ఉన్నాయి. అండ్ దెర్ ఇస్ ఎ టాక్ గోయింగ్ ఆన్ దట్ ఇక్కడ టాలీవుడ్ 2 డెవలప్ అవుతుంది అని. మీ థాట్ ప్రాసెస్ ఏంటి దాని మీద? మీ ఒపీనియన్ ఏంటి? అండ్ వాట్ డూ యూ థింక్, వాట్ డూ యూ ఫోర్సీ?
ఇక్కడ టాలీవుడ్ 2 డెవలప్ అవడం అన్నది, అట్లీస్ట్ మై ఎక్స్పీరియన్స్ ఆఫ్ లాస్ట్ 10 years, is not easy. The content you do is not acceptable there. So even if you do a movie with mainstream American background, it should have a good connect back there. So, but there's plenty of people who are from America coming and doing films in India.
In India.
At least if you look at the current active producers or active films, we are anywhere from 30 to 60% movies are from the NRIs. So,
ఐ సీ కానీ ఇక్కడికి ఇండస్ట్రీ రావడం అనేది అంత ప్రాక్టికలీ పాసిబుల్ కాదంటారు.
at least I tried for a few years. The content what you make here is cannot work directly there. So
అండ్ ఇక్కడ ఫుల్ ప్రొడక్షన్ కూడా ఇట్స్ వెరీ ఐమ్ షూర్ ఇట్స్ వెరీ హై ఎక్స్పెన్స్.
expense ఎక్కువ కాదు, but acceptance of content here to there
దట్ ఈస్ ద ఓన్లీ థింగ్.
it's I don't know, at least not in next 5-10 years.
ఓకే, ఆల్ రైట్. అండ్ హౌ డు యూ సీ ఇండియా టుడే, ఎస్పెషలీ ఇన్ ద ప్లేసెస్, ద సిటీస్ దట్ యూ రోమ్ ఇన్? మీరు ఇప్పుడు ఉంటున్న హైదరాబాద్కి ఎక్కువగా ఉంటారు కదా, మీరు యూ స్పెండ్ మోస్ట్ ఆఫ్ యువర్ టైమ్ దేర్. సో ఎట్లా ఉంది అనిపిస్తుంది మీకు అక్కడ లైఫ్ కంపేర్డ్ టు వాట్ ఇట్ యూస్ టు బీ బ్యాక్ ఇన్ ద డే?
It's extra luxurious.
Extra luxurious.
To live in Hyderabad, so you come here and you need to switch and make sure you're self-reliant. So, and you can do the same here, but it's not easy.
No. That is true, Andy, actually. That is so true. And what about, let's talk a little bit of this. Meeku, what is your vision other than making pan-world films? Because you have a lot of diversification in your businesses, right? So, me goal enti? What is your ambition in life? Down the line, 5 years, 10 years, where do you see yourself? Other than cinema, what else?
See, anything you do, you will have a vision. It's not like that's not an end goal. In filmmaking, I want to be successful and grow into delivering pan-world movies. Similarly, I have other lines of business where we have different plans on what we want to be. It's not, there's no end goal, but it's make your way and grow in what you are doing.
I want you to talk about the mobility valley thought process that you have, Andy.
See, I run a tech services. In 3 years or 5 years, I'll completely getting out of it. I diluted my stake and I will be selling all my stake. So I need to do something different in the tech. So parallel, I started this mobility as a subscription service and mass. We just launched a brand called Things. And we are we're few months away to go to market to reach out to the people in launching this service. So it is a set of mobility based services as a platform. So that is can be an aggregator app of multiple mobility apps that are available. That could be a
So
delivery
mobility services, multiple mobility services, and can you give examples?
simple example, you have Swiggy, Zomato, Dunzo.
So you want to
So
aggregate
there are some
those?
50 to 60 use cases, or more than a few hundreds of use cases to transport various things. So they all fall under the mobility domain. So we want to cater a larger mobility domain services spread across tier 1 to tier 3 in the country and maybe later to the globe. So in this service, it's an app integrated with various the commodities and also the delivery vehicles. So we're starting with a 2-wheeler EV vehicle with on a subscription model,
That's what
coming
I
with
heard.
all these aggregated apps built into the solution.
Very, very innovative and like very forward thinking, and this is amazing idea.
Yeah, we
Like,
started 3 years back and we are now bringing to reality.
I
So
see.
we have various 2-wheelers designed in-house, starting from taking a motor technology from another country and build the motors, to battery management, to the intelligent cluster unit that integrates the vehicle to your mobility app.
Wow,
And then various apps to integrate with various ecosystems.
that is wonderful. అది యూఎస్కి కూడా ఇంట్రడ్యూస్ చేస్తారా?
First, it takes another 3-4 years to make it mature in India. And
అసలు ఇక్కడ do you think it will work out here?
it could, but US has more larger players to compete with than in India, because in India, tier 2, tier 3, there's no system. So tier 1 cities has many of these apps, but tier 2, 3 don't have. Then we are starting with a two-wheeler. So it's much easier to create a value in the two-wheeler. So
Yeah.
less than the cost of uh, we call gas, but or petrol.
Correct.
For that cost, we are giving a vehicle with these apps enabled in India.
Right.
And it's much easier to penetrate
Into the
with what
market.
we have to offer in India. Bringing the same to US is not as easy as. So we need to raise a lot of public money to build the services here. Like my
Yeah.
capital is not enough to penetrate in America. So
Yeah, but you can be the pioneer. You can be the one that's bringing the idea
no,
here.
in bits and pieces, it's there already in many ways. So
ఇలా
we are
లేదు
one of the first to have this the integrated
collaboration.
solution.
అదే
So,
అంటున్నాను నేను. Collaborated platform with the vehicle is something very innovative. It
yeah,
sounds.
as of today, we are the only vehicle where we have a swappable batteries with this kind of a range and speed available as of today. So where where we are designing 70 to 80% of the design in-house. Even the large manufacturers, they just import and assemble as of today in India. So,
I see. All the very best into that venture, and I'm so looking forward to see how that turns out. When I was reading about it, I was like, oh wow, అనిపించింది నాకు. విశ్వ గారు ఇప్పుడు ఒక బిజినెస్ మ్యాన్గా ఇందాక మాట్లాడినట్టు మల్టిపుల్ బిజినెసెస్లో డైవర్సిఫై అవ్వడం, యూనో వర్కింగ్ త్రూ యువర్ జర్నీ అదొక ఆస్పెక్ట్ అయితే, మూవీ మేకింగ్లోకి ఒక ప్రొడ్యూసర్గా మీరు వెళ్ళిన తర్వాత యూ బికేమ్ ఎ సెలబ్రిటీ, యూ బికేమ్ ఎ డిఫరెంట్, యూ హ్యావ్ టు టేక్ ఎ డిఫరెంట్ పర్సనాలిటీ టు యువర్ సెల్ఫ్ అండ్ బికమ్ ది పబ్లిక్ పర్సన్, ఒక పబ్లిక్ లైఫ్ అవుతుంది కదా. ఆ ట్రాన్సిషన్ ఎలా అనిపించింది మీకు? వాజ్ ఇట్ ఈజీ టు
I don't say
అడ్జస్ట్?
I'm a celebrity, but I got opportunity to be in celebrity circle.
ప్లీజ్ నౌ దట్ ఈస్ దిస్ ఇస్ ఎ బ్రేకింగ్ న్యూస్ లాగా వేసుకోవచ్చు ఇది మనం.
Yeah, I'm in a circle, so that's different. So you feel good
Yeah.
when you are standing far away from actor and feel like, can you
You
go on a shake hand too? Now you are in that circle, so that you feel good.
Just because you stand far away and quietly, silently stand, you doesn't validate your statement. So
You feel good, right?
చెప్పండి మీకు, అంటే ఎందుకంటే నాకు గుర్తుంది ఎర్లీ టైమ్స్లో మీరు స్టేజ్ మీదకి వెళ్ళిన తర్వాత యూ నాట్ దిస్ వోకల్ ఆర్ ఇంత రెడీలీ స్పీకింగ్ సిచ్యువేషన్లో లేరు అప్పట్లో బిగినింగ్లో.
I always don't speak
కానీ ఇప్పుడు
in
ద వే
front of a
యువర్
crowd. Yeah, one on one, I'm always.
No, I saw you
Open.
yesterday on stage also.
But
I
on
was
stage, I
really
don't speak much because the audience don't care about what I talk, because they're waiting for a celebrity to talk. That's why I said I'm not a celebrity. I'm in a circle of celebrities.
No, you are a celebrity. మీకు ఎలా అనిపిస్తుంది అది? ఆ ఫీలింగ్ ఎట్లా ఉందంటే, ఇట్ మస్ట్ హ్యావ్ టేకన్ సంథింగ్ కదా మీకు. ఇందాక మనం మాట్లాడినట్టు కంఫర్ట్ జోన్లో నుంచి కొద్దిగా యూ హ్యావ్ టు బ్రేక్ ద బ్యారియర్స్ అండ్ దెన్ కమ్ అవుట్ అండ్ లైక్
I
ఓకే
still
ఓకే
don't feel comfortable speaking on a
ఈవెన్ నౌ.
stage to a larger audience because they don't look forward for what I talk about.
No, maybe there will be
That's
people
the
like
least of
me
the interest.
ఉంటారేమో కదా.
It's a very smaller. Yeah, in a smaller groups, I always speak. In fact, I dominate the smaller groups in discussion. So
Oh, I see. It's very hard to believe. I know you very little అనుకోండి. So who is your best friend in the industry? And are you threatened by anything in the industry?
I don't have a specific friend. I have a good amount of friends.
Hmm.
Fortunately, I don't have anybody threatening.
Threatening?
At least
You're not threatened
I'm-
because you're a fighter.
there is a nexus who may not feel good right now because I'm the first to call out publicly. So there's many calling out for a while, but with a stand, I'm one of the first to come out. Yeah, there could be few definitely.
Okay. And I don't know, were there any controversies that you want to talk about today? ఏదైనా మీరు ఈ ఇంటెన్షన్తో నేను ఇలా అనలేదు కానీ అది అలా ఇట్ కన్వర్టెడ్ ఇంటూ సంథింగ్ ఎల్స్ అని ఒక కాంట్రవర్సీ వచ్చింది ఏదైనా, అది
Recent
హ్యాండిల్
గా
చేయడం అనేది?
there was a strike where I did call out on the nexus. People say I'm anti-worker, but I'm not a anti-worker. I'm a anti-nexus.
దాని గురించి చెప్తారా? అది
There
వాట్ వాజ్
there
ద
were
కాల్
lot,
అవుట్?
there were a lot of
No,
people.
what were you standing for?
I'm standing for I have a right to hire. Anybody have a right to work.
And you
A
decide
union
that.
cannot control in between whom
Hmm.
to work
Hmm.
and who should be working, who should be allowed to work.
Right.
They have no
Right.
right to block somebody else's future,
Hmm.
and they have no right to dictate on whom I should hire. This is the only thing I was fighting.
ఇవాళ ఎక్కడున్నారు? వాట్స్ యువర్ స్టాన్స్?
We solved 50%. It is still there. And another, it's just a matter of a few more months. We'll be able to achieve.
ఏదైనా ఇండస్ట్రీలో మీరు దగ్గర నుంచి చూస్తున్నారు కాబట్టి షూటింగ్స్లో కానీ అట్లాగా ఏదైనా ఇస్ దేర్ ఎనీథింగ్ దట్ యూ వాంట్ టు చేంజ్ ఫర్ ఎవర్? ఇది ఇలా ఉండకూడదు, ఆఫ్ కోర్స్ హైరింగ్ కాకుండా వర్క్ వైజ్, ఆ వర్క్ అట్మాస్ఫియర్ వైజ్ అట్లాగా ఏదైనా మీకు అనిపిస్తుందా ఎప్పుడైనా?
See, in film industry, the passion levels are very, very high on most of the people that work. At the same time, there's lots of baggage that people carry for in the making process. Because of carrying baggage, there's a lot of inefficiencies. And again, when many passionate people work, there will be a lot of conflicting thinking.
Yeah.
So that you cannot avoid because that passion is required. So you need to find a solution. But definitely the baggage that we carry should be cleaned up so that more innovation can come, because the people who wants to enter new, it's not easy for them. And it's difficult for new talent to come in. When you don't have new talent coming in, you will not have a lot of innovation.
చేంజ్ కనపడదు, కొత్తగా
It takes
అనిపించదు.
time for seeing the innovation. So,
సో ట్రూ, సో ట్రూ అండి. వన్ లాస్ట్ క్వశ్చన్ దట్ ఐ వాంట్ టు ఆస్క్ యూ ఇస్, ఫర్ ఎనీ ఆంటర్ప్రెన్యూర్ దట్ ఈస్ starting their career and dealing with situations, complications atlaga, if you have to give 3 messages to them, like what are the important aspects they need to focus on, whether to continue, keep fighting, or give up and move on to another area?
see, this is nothing to do with filmmaking, but anything.
ఏదైనా ఫిల్మ్ మేకింగ్ అని కాదు,
You
ఎనీ
need to be
ఆంటర్ప్రెన్యూర్.
clear on what's your goals. Have perseverance. Don't lose hope. All 3 are same, but
Yeah. 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 Thank you so much, and it is so wonderful talking to you. Patient గా మాకు ఇంత టైం ఇచ్చారు. I feel very, very happy.
all the best for the radio survey. And you're doing a great job, and
Working.
expand your reach, and all the best for you.
Thank you so much.
Hi, I'm Viswaprasad from People Media Factory. Listen to Radio Surabhi, OG Telugu radio in USA.
Thank you so much, and